I think Rockville's terrible. You don't need that many classes.
I'm all the way open.
I like going there, but I think it's just busy. You already got two big shows. You got Bowling Green, you got Tolman. You don't need a third. Right, exactly. That was too much there.
I'm at 4 with all the way open riders too.
Actually, I was talking to. We used to go to. Before we went to Rockville, we used to go to Mount Sterling.
Okay, you want me to do that?
It was a 2-day event. There was Mount Sterling and the other one, Salem, Ohio. And I talked to the guy from Mount Sterling, that's a PPL look. And I talked to him at Nashville this spring. I said, honest to God, we didn't gain anything by leaving you guys. I said, every place has its own personality, and I love going to Mount Sterling.
Check. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sandwich Fair here this afternoon. We got great weather conditions. My name is Dan Bear, be joined by Charles Post. We'll also be joined by Mark Tuttle here today. Guys, perfect day for pulling.
Beautiful day, cool temperatures, a little bit of cloud cover. Right now we're in sunshade, but today is it. This is your chance to get into the Enderley pull-off, and it is the most brutal day in tractor pulling because everybody has to run today twice.
And not just twice, but for championships here tonight. They have pulled all summer long, working for this moment right here, and it all comes right down to this. So this is going to be a great afternoon for those fans that are still out there in the midway. Come on in. You got about 15 or so minutes before we get the action underway. And guys, when we talk about action, we have got it here today.
Absolutely. Beautifully prepared track. The crew has done a phenomenal job here at the DeKalb County Fair in Sandwich, Illinois. The track today, as we stand on it, is a little bit softer than what we saw on Thursday night for truck night. That will play into the tractor guys. They like that. The trucks want it a little bit harder.
Yeah, hats off to Scott Frieders and his crew here putting this show on and getting this track in just absolutely beautiful conditions here. And boy, I got here nice and early this morning, about 8:30 or so, and they were out here working, and it's been a little bit when they started here. So, man, I'll tell you what, they have built themselves an awesome, awesome track.
That's something for you, those of you who are watching here in the stands or are watching at home, you don't realize this is a living, breathing thing that we're standing upon. It doesn't come together in a matter of hours. It takes a week, really, to prepare a Grand National level track, but it's also a living, breathing thing throughout the year. Guys will plant crops on top of it. Ryegrass is a favorite. It's something that you have to maintain. You don't just show up a couple hours beforehand, start ripping it up with a disc, pouring water to it, and think you're going to have something good.
Absolutely. And Mark, you being from this area here, about how many or so folks involved with this pull, getting things going here, and, of course, all the equipment it takes to keep this event going?
Yeah, it's been about the same guys all the time. They're here every year. They know exactly what they're doing. A lot of these guys are heavy equipment operators on the side, so they got the talents for it. And you're going to see 8-10 guys out here lining the track up all the time, but there's also another 8-10 guys out in the back that you don't see that are helping get this pull going.
Yeah, the amazing part is yesterday at this time, they were getting ready for a big concert behind the grandstand, and you would have never known that there was a tractor pull going to happen 24 hours later, but they do it every year here, and what a job that they do.
Absolutely. This is a unique place. It's expensive. We come from 1 week ago when we're in Canton, Ohio, where you feel like everything's right on top of you. Beautiful venue there as well, and the atmosphere is excellent. But here we come, and there's space. You can spread out, and you can enjoy yourself, and it's a beautiful fair.
Now, Charles, let's talk a little bit about that competition we're going to see here this afternoon. We got right around 60 or so entries here today, but boy, do we have the best of the best here.
Absolutely. The top of the pops, as they say. Super Farm, Pro Stock, Super Stock Diesel, and Modifieds. You're going to see the granddaddy classes and the best of the best. The stars of the Galaxy Tour are here.
Yes, and they are ready to perform now. Over here on this infield track, we're going to start off with the Super Stock Diesel tractors, and then over here on this track here, we'll run the the big boys, the modifieds, will be running here this afternoon, get us started. But let's talk about points races coming in here this afternoon.
Things are close throughout the order. It doesn't matter what class it is, what one we're talking about, and it is tenuous to even make it to the Enderley at this point. With everybody having to run today twice, it's going to really matter how you finish not only this afternoon but tonight. You cannot afford to take this afternoon lightly and think, I just need to survive to tonight, because a bad run laying back might hurt you to the point where you don't get in. The number 6, the number 5, the bump spots are really close in all 4 classes.
Yeah, so over here on the Super Stock Diesel class, we got 1 point separating first and second right now. Over here on the modified side, we got 7 points separating first and second. And it's only going to get tougher, as you said, as we go through these classes here today.
Absolutely. Talking to some of the drivers here this morning about what their strategy is, everybody says, we're going for it.
Going for it. And I also asked about, the afternoon track versus the night track out here. And the competitors said they're pretty consistent. So it doesn't really matter, afternoon, night, they're going to switch, they're going to flip-flop on us. We're going to see the classes that you see this afternoon run on this track are going to be over on this track tonight. But they tell us it doesn't matter what track they're running on, they're all consistent.
I think it would be. Thursday night, when we were here for the truck class, it was an evening session only, but it was sunshine all day. It was a bit warmer than it is today. Today we've got some cloud cover in the mix. It is a little bit cooler. I think today, the afternoon session, this track is going to hold up very, very well.
Absolutely. And fans, once the action gets rolling here in Sandwich, for those folks that have been here for many, many years, you know how quick they run the action here in Sandwich. They don't mess around.
No, they don't. It's quick. We were, 2.5 minutes run Thursday night, give or take?
Yeah, there'd be a truck coming down here every couple minutes. I mean, it was fast all night long.
60 hooks, 2 hours, start to finish. We were done.
Yep. So grab yourself something good to eat. Go on out in the fair before we get started, because, like I say, once things get rolling here, it's going to be fast and furious, and the action will be nonstop. We can guarantee that.
If you can hear us out in the carnival in the Midway, there's plenty of good seats left in here. So come on in. We're going to start in just a couple seconds. And we're going to get real loud too. So if this is your first time to a tractor pull, it's going to get loud. If you got tender ears out there, the Boy Scouts are going by here, and they will have ear protection for you.
Yeah, definitely. You want to, especially if you got little ones here with you, if you've never experienced something like this, the first class right out of the gate on the grandstand side is the loudest thing outside of nitro drag racing that you can hear. It is going to rattle every bone in your body, and we don't want you to suffer for your enjoyment of this event. We want you to really, really take a good thing from it and not have to have your ears hurt. And also, we don't want you to go deaf like Dan and I kind of really, it's not a joke, we are, after 20 years of doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And just by a show of hands, how many fans were here on Thursday night? How many fans were here Thursday night coming on back? Well, welcome back. Good to see you back here and here for Tractor. What is really cool about this event, they run the trucks on Thursday night, and then here on Saturday, all tractors all the time.
If you like both, it means you got to come back, and the fair loves it.
Absolutely. Great competition here today, fans. Just a couple minutes away from getting things underway here. And like I say, once things get rolling here, it's going to be fast and furious. So make sure you are ready to go and got yourself something good to eat out there from the fair here, and we're just about ready to get rolling.
Plenty along to follow along with. You can follow along either on ntpapool.com. There's a free app that you can download to keep up with what's going on with this event today, and also fullpoll.live. You can watch streaming. Obviously, if you're here, you're not going to be doing that, but if you're at home, tell your friends. It's going to be a great day of pulling. Forget college football. Nobody cares. This is where it's at.
Easy.
Hey, I heard people booing, and yet you're here. You're here.
Of course, to each his own, right? We gotta keep it on the lowdown, right?
No,
my Buffalo Bills aren't playing until tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about
I'm picking
the college things, But no, glad you fans have decided to come out and spend your afternoon and evening with us here, and we're just about ready to get things rolling here. And like I say, once things get up and going here, just waiting for our anthem singer to make his way out on the track here, and we will get this afternoon session underway here in Sandwich.
Mr. Dave Hansen is right over there right now, our national anthem singer.
There he is.
He needs a mic.
All right, so Mark Tuttle going to head down here and introduce Mr. Hansen to the crowd here, and we will get things underway here. So fans, if you would at this point, if you are able, please rise for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner by Mr. Dave Hansen.
I think he handed it to me on.
Check, check.
You can do a lot better than that. You guys ready to go pulling here this afternoon? Yeah, here we go. That's what we like to hear. Well, let's bring them on.
We're ready. Brandon Hunt has smoke in the pipes. The Living a Dream Superstock on the pit side. He will get hitched onto. Brandon Bungard in the X Factor sled on the pit side. The orange sled, also from the Bungard Stables X Factor, operated by Mr. Ed Walker, will feature the modifieds.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about our tracks here this afternoon. Lined out to 350 feet. You'll see the white lines each side of the track. You touch the white lines, you are out of bounds. Now, approximately 40 feet wide, or as wide as your normal two-lane highway, and we are ready to get rolling.
And right off the bat, off the hop, we are starting in the about same spot on the pit side track that worked for the trucks on Thursday. That is the lane that the Hunt family has chosen. They were looking at this earlier, about a half hour ago. All three of the Hunt brothers were out there checking things over. Of course, Shane will be coming up later in Super Farm, so it matters what happens here. We got a big class of super stocks. We got plenty to go. And so they will have time, and they are not afraid to beat on this tractor and come back if it's required of them.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Number one hook over here on the infield side. Brandon Hunt herd in Kentucky. The Limited Dream. All right, 8,000-pound Newfields Ag Super Stock Diesel class here this afternoon. And now big decision here for Brandon Hunt and the Limited Dream. Will he take or turn down that run? A winner here in Sandwich back in 2015. Kind of out of the points here for 2025. Kind of missed a couple events here and there, but when he has been there, look out.
Oh, my. He has been right at the forefront of everything whenever this tractor comes out of the barn. It's a top runner. Brandon getting an accolade this year, being elected to a high position within the Corn Marketing Association of the United States. I'm probably screwing that up. Is John
the Corn Growers Association, and the first guy from Kentucky to ever represent that. So congratulations to Brandon, as we'll get the numbers in here at 3:15 and 58. 3:15 and 58, and we will wait and see whether or not Brandon is happy with that run.
Burning off some wet stacking fuel there out of the pipes. You know what? Getting one of these tractors out of their spin-out holes is a very tough thing. These tractors are geared and set up with centrifugal clutches, centrifugally assisted clutches, where they want to be all in. They don't like to just roll up out of the hole. And Brother James Darren right there taking a look at the spin-out holes, and we'll have a conversation, I'm sure.
Well, big decision right there. He tells us going to drop that hook. So 3:15 and 58. Erase that from your memories. He's going to drop to last here in this class. Now, what that tells us, he thinks that track's going to get a little bit better the longer we go here this afternoon.
I think it might. We got 14 of them that are scheduled to appear here, so it's going to be an awful busy here at Newfields Ag Diesel Super Stock.
And you know, Charles, one thing we've seen here with this Newfields Ag Diesel Super Stock class this year is the numbers. They have been stout all summer long. You know, last couple of years, the numbers kind of got that low mark. We'd see, a handful of pullers at an event. But this year, we have been steady over 10 each and every event.
Yeah, it's been resurgent, and I'm glad for it. It's the oldest class in the sport, along with the modifieds that are going to start up here on the other side of the track. The granddaddy classes, it's wonderful to have that health back in Diesel Super.
So once again, 3:15:58 for Brandon Hunt. He turns that run down, going to come back last here in the class. And we talked about it. It's one of the hardest days in pulling. You got to go out there. And
for this class especially.
Oh, yeah. And this is a class here where a lot of times we'll see a competitor run once, and that'll be it for the weekend. Do a lot of damage. And, these tractors on the edge. And here we go. Our current national points leader, making his way out on the track right now. Kent Payne out of Petersburg, Indiana, with that Super Rooster.
What a veteran this guy is. He's been around the sport for a very long time, and he is a stone-cold killer with a Super Rooster. Builds a lot of engines for a lot of competitors across a bunch of different classes, and they all perform well and win championships.
Yeah, absolutely. Fans, 2023 Grand National Champion. Now, years ago when Kent started pulling, actually started out in a pro stock class, worked his way on up through and had a couple different variations of diesel supers over the years, and actually wanted to compete with those alcohol tractors many, many years ago when they did split, but has since gone in here to the diesel-only class. And we've seen him from a time or two. Actually picked up a big win in the open class. So this guy, it doesn't matter where they pull, it's when they pull.
He did. Back 25 years ago, around the turn of the century, when it was the Rooster Cruiser, he was a fixture on the ATPA circuit, running against a bunch of the Alki guys.
All right, so current national points leader by just 1 point, as the Super Rooster will set the mark to beat here this afternoon as we hear the roar of the modifieds in the background. All right, fans, that will be the mark to beat over here on the Super Stock side.
Les Corporal lining up out of Marion, Indiana, the Corporal Punishment Machine. Part of the modern machine, a chassis builder. He's running triple. Darren Mayer Performance Engineering. He's on the tractor with 1471 superchargers. Had to sit out on Saturday night 1 week ago in Canton, Ohio. Found a bunch of bearing material in one of the oil filter screens. That is now repaired. The third motor bolted on. He will be our test hook on the grandstand side. Brought the pain. Sled setting for the Mods with only a 10 scheduled to appear. It's tough.
So over on the Super Stock side, 312 and 37 will be the mark to beat here for Ken Payne as he laid down a good one with that Super Rooster International 1066. So 312.37, the mark to beat Super Stock side. All right, fans, so a good run right there for Les Corporal. We'll wait and see what the officials have decided over on the modified side.
299.045, 299.045. Les is keeping the run, and we'll just see if NTPA is going to look at another one or if we're just going to let him ride. I think with today being the double, we're probably just going to let him go.
Yeah, I don't think we want to have these competitors run more than they have to here today, but we'll wait and see here, of course. Les Corporal here with that corporal punishment earned his way into the Enderley last week. He talked about having that engine trouble out there in Canton, but also just barely was able to make it into that Enderley.
Yeah, got in there by the skin of his teeth. He knew it going in.
Yep.
He knew what his points position was, what he had to do, and chose then to not beat on the tractor and just sit the session out.
Hey, we want to give a shout out to our fine guys that brought all these antique tractors in to pull for our pull-offs. A lot of local guys come down here and volunteer their time in their tractor to do a little pulling off here. So when they go by, give them a hand, give them a shout out.
Now, Charles, I by no means will determine that somebody is a Rookie of the Year. But if I was giving out a Rookie of the Year award, this gentleman over here on the infield track would be right in contention.
I think I'd have to agree with you about Kyle Holland coming out of St. Paul, Indiana with a Black Tornado Revive. This AGCO Atlas machine has been stellar. And he has laid down some tremendous runs to be in the position that he is.
Yeah, currently sits number 3 here in Grand National points. Hasn't gotten that first ever Grand National win yet, but he is on the verge. 7 top 5s for this tractor. Just amazing that this tractor has performed the way it has this year.
I think between him and Marshall the Pro, I'm looking for that breakout day for each of them. They deserve it. They've worked hard. They've shown that it's there. They just haven't quite closed the deal yet.
All right, fans, AGCO DT 225B on the start line out of St. Paul, Indiana, South Central Indiana, just north of Greensburg. Here comes the Black Tornado Revive. Had to get on that brake, you fans over there on the infield side. Saw him hit that right brake awful hard, brought that tractor back around. And we'll see up on the replay board here. Take a look, fans. Beautiful run right to that point, and then it started drifting.
When he gets on it, watch how hard it shakes the entire chassis. Everything will torque over as it absorbs that hit right there. That's a lot of stress on turbocharger, plumbing, everything. Taking that hit, it held together for him.
All right, fans, pull distance here for the Black Tornado Revive. 3:30:32. We got a new leader. Wow, that is impressive. Had to touch the brake and still blasted into that number 1 spot. That was awesome.
Great run for Mr. Holland. And update on the grandstand side for the modifieds. We are going to reset. So Les Corporal will have to come back with corporal punishment. We are starting over on the modifieds.
All right, we want to thank all our local sponsors up and down the track. You'll see signage. All these great local sponsors help put on today's poll. We want to thank A&B Exteriors, All American Door. Thanks to AgTech, your local DeKalb dealer. Narvik Concrete, Podra Incorporated, Olson Roofing. Thanks to Dave Septic, DeKalb Seed, Dunn Family Funeral Home, Feast Oil, thanks to Mike, Granco FS, and Heartland Bank, some of our fine sponsors.
Headquartered in Grand Mound, Iowa, Newfields Ag is an innovative agricultural science and technology company that provides liquid biologicals, liquid and dry seed treatments, planter box lubricants, and biologicals and other crop inputs. Newfields Ag works with customers and resellers in more than 30 states, Canada, and New Zealand to provide climate-smart solutions that aid in soil and plant health, increasing crop yields and food input quality. For more information about Newfields Ag, visit newfieldsag.com.
All right, fans, back to the start line. Superstock Diesel side. We got Roger Peterson, Cosmos, Minnesota. And the just another one, John Deere 6030. We got any John Deere fans here this afternoon? Where are ya? Well, Charles, you don't see a bunch of green ones in this class, but this is one of the best right here.
Indeed, has a successful season going. 1 win on the year. Oh, shuts it off early. He can go back. Everybody's got 2 opportunities to come out beyond 100 feet. He's now used one of those. He can go back and try it again. And, you know, Dan, this guy, he kind of broke the internet this spring when the tractor came out. Nobody knew he was rebodying it as a 6030. When it came out, everybody had jaws on the floor.
On
the beautiful job they did.
Absolutely. And what a beautiful, you know, this tractor here. Got to love those black wheels. The black wheels,
yeah.
You know, some people say, I like the classic, but the black wheels, I think it makes it pop.
Sets it off very, very nicely. We go to the New York side. Montgomery, New York native Dylan Owens in the Thorn, number 3 in points. 1 win on the year. He's 11 back of the points lead, just 4 out of the runners-up spot. Oh, we're going to go right back to Roger.
All right, here we go. Second attempt here. Roger Peterson, just another one. John Deere fans, yeah!
Boy, not to take anything away from Dylan, but Roger, what a
run there at the John Deere 6030. Boy, this is going to be a good, we're waiting on the distance right now from the laser crew. And no doubt about it, fans, it's a good one as they ask for that tow tractor. But, boy, you talk about a straight, picture-perfect pass here. And we'll see that here on the replay in just a little bit here as Roger Peterson looking for that second win of the season. Got one way back the early part of the season in Toma. There you go, fans. 3:55:53 new leader.
I was back there with Roger when they were warming the tractor up, just looking at things. He had an aw shucks attitude about it. Just, hey, we're just happy to be here. No, sir, you're better than happy to be here.
And, of course, we'll see him come back a little bit later as a team tractor will be out, and it's a red one. Be out a little bit here. But an excellent run right there for Roger Peterson as we'll bounce it over to the modified side.
3:36 and 62 for Dylan Owens. 3:36.62 for the Thorn. 4 Hemis with 871 superchargers on the wedge frame chassis for the father-son team out of New York. Tractor, as I understand it, for sale. Not the engines,
yes,
but the tractors.
But the tractor, yep. Both the tractors. And big decision here for Dylan, whether or not he's going to take her turn down that run here. Once again, they reset that weight transfer machine, light things up a little bit. We want to give you fans the best possible show out there, so they lighten things up a little bit, get them in that 330 to 340 range, and mission accomplished.
Yep, we definitely accomplished that. And that little Fireball 8 struggling to get him out of his spin-out holes here. The crew here at the Sandwich Fair does an awesome job with supporting everybody and moving us all around the pit area with a bunch of tractors, and most of them immaculately restored.
Yeah, they're all kind of scattered out throughout the grounds, and Mark's kind of been talking and telling us about all these different guys running these old classic tractors out there, and boy, they are beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of the guys you see run them, there's probably some history with that tractor. It might have been Grandpa's tractor or Dad's tractor, and now they restored them and bring them down here and show them off, and it really works good getting them back to the back. They pull them around all out back, right up to the start-finish line and right back, so thanks for bringing them out, guys. And we want to thank the equipment sponsors for putting the track back together. We want to thank all the equipment, Eltorfer, Cat Equipment, Atlas Crane, thanks to Berg Farms, Bernie Frieders and the boys, KC Equipment. We want to thank Everett and Wim Vandermeer, the folks over at Frieders Builders, Jackson Transport for bringing it in here, McCain Industries, Case Construction, Sunbelt Rentals, Westside Tractor, and Y-Tech Excavating, along with Midwest Access Solution. All these guys are helping sponsor the equipment out on the track, and give them a thanks when you see them.
All right, fans, we're going to go back here to the start line. Travis Schlaubaugh, Marengo, Iowa, the Bone Twister. These guys are playing hardball here this afternoon in Sandwich. What a run. Travis Schlaubaugh, two-time Grand National Champion. And you know, Charles, last year here in Sandwich, we saw that wild ride, blew the side shield off the side of it. But here, boy, everything has come here full circle here for Travis here this afternoon.
What a blast for him. 2025 has not necessarily been the season that he and Allison have been looking for, and they kind of went into find out mode here in the latter half of the season, and what a blast right there for the mayor of Marengo and the Bone Twister.
Well, fans, as you can see on the big screen, we got a new leader, 3:55.57. Wow. 0.04 of a foot.
That far down, and they're that close.
0.04 of a foot. So we'll get that. Our official NTPA statistician, John Dunlap, no doubt watching. He'll tell us officially how close that is, as we've got an interesting story coming up next year on the modified side.
Nathan Fry in Upper Sandusky, Ohio, the Totally Fried Machine. This tractor has a very long history in the sport of pulling. Started out as the Funny Farmall of Canvini. Then it went out to Chuck Knapp as Screamin' D. He has bought the tractor from Chuck and brought it back here to Ohio, where it started its life. And now, instead of the John Deere on the front, it is now a Super H out there on the front. Only 3 engines today, all Hemis with 1471 blowers, because ordinarily he runs unlimited, but he took one motor off to come play.
Yeah, absolutely, and good to see Nathan and making those all-important passes out there as a rookie in this class. And as you fans know, it's that all-important time in the seat. And a guy, you know, running Super Farms years ago, running the super modified four-wheel drives, and totally different than what you see right here.
Way different. He's going to start off just left of center on the starting line and go for a ride. I don't know that he has run the tractor in this configuration yet this year. Maybe he has, but I certainly have missed it if he did.
Yeah, I want to say Bowling Green. Did he have it on there? Just
I think it was on there, but one was dead.
Everything
yeah.
was disconnected. All right.
And he does have a weight box in front of the clutch can where that motor would go. There is weight there, but it's still different. It's a variable. Let's see. We're going to get Nathan Fry first or Mr. Tyler Beckman over on the super stock side. Who's going to go? It's going to be Nathan Fry and Totally Fry.
Yeah, he's getting it. He's getting it.
Good straight run, but he knew. We saw the butterfly start to close as he started creeping on that right side line. We'll get the numbers there as we go to the other side, and Tyler Beckman in Born Green.
All right, Faye's second year of the afternoon over here on the Diesel Super side. Waverly, Iowa, that John Deere 4560. Track is clear. Here he comes. Tyler kind of got off to that right side a little bit, had to zigzag it back here, but nonetheless, good to see him out here in competition. The Born Green out of Waverly, Iowa.
Pleasure to chat with the young man here this morning, and he ordinarily runs primarily with the Outlaws, but when we're in the neighborhood with the NTPA, he will show up, and he said, I just want to get in there and mix it up with everybody and see what I can do. 311-465 for Nathan Fry, 311-465, number 2 after 2.
So fans, ask and you shall receive. Between first and second right now over on the infield track, we've got a distance of 2 1/4 inches separating first and second right now. It doesn't get much closer than that. 2 1/4 inches between first and second over here on the infield track.
Hey, we also want to thank Olson Roofing. We want to thank the folks at S&S Metal Recyclers. Thanks to Tough Toy Farms, Bob and Trent, I'm sure they're in the stands today. Thanks to Wiffle Seeds, Today Cartage, BASF. We want to thank Leeward Energy and the folks over to Meadowvale Ice Cream, Hollenbeck Construction, and the Heartland Bank. Great sponsors helping put on today's poll.
All right, over on the super stock side, looks like distance for Tyler Beckman with the Born Green. John Deere comes in at 286 and 82. 286 and 82. We'll put him in that number 5 spot as Matt Goodwin, Farnhamville, Iowa, up next here with the Intimidator, a guy that knows this clay right here in Sandwich very well.
Long history of the sport. He and Dad Dennis, super stock to the core. Campaigned all over the upper Midwest and had a lot of success at a lot of events for a very long time. Good to see Matt back in competition with the Intimidator. Tough running tractor from Central Iowa.
Swept the competition here in 2023, won the afternoon and the evening session, and we talked about how hard that is to do, but actually you start looking back on it, actually quite a few competitors have done it.
And it's remarkable that they're able to do that, because what you're seeing this afternoon is going to totally flip tonight. They're not only going to change tracks, they're going to flip class orders. So it will be totally different when you come back tonight. Everything you thought you knew about the track you were on is irrelevant because you're going to go on the other side.
So the Intimidator out of Farnhamville, Iowa, as we see Matt Goodwin back it in. And, you know, you talk about, you know, the tractor we just saw, the Born Green, running the Outlaw Circuit. This guy here, they kind of threw the book away on him in the Outlaw Circuit. He's got so many championships over the years, but good to see him out here running with the Grand National boys here with the NTPA.
Tough guy. Anytime the trailer ramps drop, starting off just right of center for the Intimidator. Over on the grandstand side, Doug Christensen out of Glencoe, Minnesota, the Pack Rat 4 backing into place. I think we're going to get Goodwin first. With a common center line, I wouldn't think we would do race tractors, but it'd be sweet.
Yeah, right here. Now, Matt Goodwin, he's moved that sled over a little bit here. We're a little bit right of center over here on the infield side.
Doug gets wild with that chassis. The left front big block Chevrolet blows apart. NTPA crew will be right on scene with stop fire extinguishers. Blew the tank apart. Methanol spilled just about everywhere. And this is going to mean Matt Goodwin is going to have to sit for a second while we handle the situation.
Yeah,
Doug out of the seat. He's all right.
Yeah, a little bit of a breeze here, and doesn't bode well for those flames out there as the crew right on top of it here.
They're going to tow him back out of the puddle and attack this fire here. We still got flames everywhere. Sandwich Community Fire Department, they're ready here in the corner with a beautiful 7.3 powered OBS brush truck to deliver service. A lot of methanol spilled there. I don't know how many gallons he had on board. Plenty. And it's a fire that you cannot necessarily see. There's orange flame there. That's a bit of oil cooking off as it was pushing out. Probably not head gas. It wasn't head gas. It was valve cover gaskets. But there's a methanol fire there that you cannot see. It is invisible in broad daylight. And so we want to make sure that we are handling that appropriately and nobody's walking into a fire that's invisible to them.
And, of course, you can see all the safety gear that these drivers have to wear. We've got the multi-layer fire suits, the SFI-approved gloves, the boots, all that stuff, Snell-approved helmets as well. So anything you would see in any major motorsport, you got right here in the sport of pulling.
Yep, all of that protection affords seconds to get out of a fire such as this one. And our team doing their job of handling it correctly. Matt Goodwin is shut down on the other side while we attend to this problem right here.
Well, fans, tough luck round of applause there for Doug Christensen, if you would, please. Glencoe, Minnesota. And Doug, we talk about this year picking up his first Grand National win earlier this year up in Hutchinson, Minnesota. So close to the hometown and got the job done. But really has had some nice runs here this summer.
He has. He's had a win on the season, done very well for himself, number 7 in points. There are 3 two-wheel drive trucks with engines in the hauler. I would not be surprised if it's not all hands on deck to repair. You can see right there the blown front, the welds cracked on that fuel tank. That's going to have to get fixed. But I would not be surprised if an engine gets changed out and they are back tonight.
Yeah, as we take a look there,
both tanks.
Yeah,
the front
Chevrolet
tank is blown as well. Wow, got both of them.
That's
unique.
My. Yeah, that is unique that they both split like that.
And I think that was concussion or impact that did that. It wasn't something that backfed through or, a fuel line. Fuel lines aren't big enough to do that. It was something impact on that blown front motor that caused both those tanks to split.
All right, so hats off to our track crew down there as well as the safety staff here at the Sandwich Fair to get everything taken care of down there. And like we said, I'll just take a couple minutes here. We'll get everything tidied back up, and we'll fire up that Intimidator tractor over here on the infield side.
Now, this has to play upon your mind a little bit. Matt Goodwin with tons of experience. He's not a rookie. He's not new to this. But he's suited and booted. He's strapped in. He was ready to go. Something like that happens in front of you. You have to put all of that out of your mind in addition to the butterflies and the adrenaline you already got going to handle this. And now you just got to sit there and wait.
Yeah, hit that reset button, right?
Yeah.
Hit that reset button. And easier said than done.
Tough job. I don't know that I'd want to be in his shoes right now, having to just sit in there and just think. I don't know. Every driver has a process. I don't know if you close your eyes and just lean forward on the steering wheel for a minute and just try to put it all aside and forget about it.
What's Ken Veeney say? Stop and smell the roses, right?
Stop and smell the roses.
Smell the roses.
You get to be here. You're strapped in. You're living a dream that I would do some sketchy stuff for. To sit in one of those, you're getting to do it. Yeah, enjoy it. Beautiful sunny day. Hey, I'm on a diesel Superstock. Life is pretty good.
And right now, fans over here on the infield track, Travis Schlaubar, our leader with the Bone Twister at 355.57, and just 2 1/4 inches behind Roger Peterson with that John Deere, just another one at 355.53. And Charles, we're not even halfway through this class.
Not even close. No, long way to go. Resetting it on the modified side for you. Dylan Owens and Thorne continues to lead 336-62 over Nathan Fry. We did reset the sled. Les Corporal scheduled to reappear. And again, we have the big blow up here just now with Doug Christensen. If you're just joining us, the Pack Rat 4 left front engine blew itself apart. It collected both fuel tanks and spilled a lot of methanol on the track. We had a significant fire to put out, and we would be down for some cleanup. We're going to play it back here for you. Those of you watching at home and on the big screen, you can see it was starting to push a bunch of fluid, and then bam.
Yeah, then you saw the concussion right there as we see that front tank start. It split right at the welds right there. All right, so going to play that back here, and just about to that point where we saw that tractor started to hop there, that's where we saw the smoke, that left front engine, and Charles is going to head down trackside here and see what he can find out on the spot as we roll it back here on the replay board one more time, fans. Wow. Yeah, take a look at that.
This might be a good time to thank Whitaker Auto Salvage, 2 locations, Earlville and Sandwich. Thanks to Westfall Farms, and thanks to Worley Custom Fabrication.
Yeah, so as we look at the replay here, it looks like that middle tank split first, then the front one. Very odd situation out there, but nonetheless, we'll see Doug Christensen. No doubt they'll do what they can to get this tractor back in competition one more time. So as we take a look over on the modified side here, it looks like we're going to have Steve Buttich up next here. Takes a licking out of Golden Gate, Illinois. He'll be followed by Joe Fintak, the North American, then Bill Leischner, number 2 in Grand National points with that dirt slinger. Our next 3 over on the modified side, as we've got Matt Goodwin once again ready to go over on the super stock side with that Intimidator. And just finishing up here, and there we take a look there. Looks like at the valve cover. So push that valve cover out of that left front engine there possibly. For those fans watching at home, the free preview on Facebook and YouTube, that's going to end soon after this next vehicle pulls. So make sure you head on over to Full Pull Live to watch the entire afternoon session as well as the evening session, as we've got a whole bunch of pulling coming up here in September as we make our way into the fall season coming up. And we've got some great events we'll talk about in the coming weeks here. But once again, that free preview on Facebook and YouTube will end after this next vehicle makes its run here today. Looks like we've got the Doug Christensen Pack Rat tractor off to the side here. We'll take that back to the pit area as track crew finishing up their work out on the track here, get everything done.
We're trying to be a little bit gentle with this tractor because it is still on fire. There is heat coming off of it. There is still fuel leaking out of both tanks, and we're just trying to be real gentle as we move it along.
All right, fans, so we'll head back over on the infield side. Super stock diesel tractors, Matt Goodwin, Farnhamville, Iowa with the Intimidator. Case International MX305 as we'll get the... All right, looks like Charles got something down trackside for us. Go ahead, Charles.
So we had a look at what's going on with the Christensen tractor, and the left front motor, of course, blew apart. It threw the rod out through the block on the number 2 cylinder. Here's a piece of bearing material that came out of that. It's a tough break. Tractor's still on fire right now because it's sloshing around a little bit of fuel in those tanks. They're trying to clean that up and not jostle this tractor too much more and cause any more damage to the tractor than what they can. We've got it to the corner. We're clear. We can go back to sled pulling. That's where we stand right now with the pack rat.
All right, fans, so there you go. As we get everything back together over on the modified side, we're ready to go. Matt Goodwin, Farnhamville, Iowa, with the Intimidator. Once again, that high watermark, super stock diesel side.